What is happening, people? Welcome back to Gooner Down Under TV, and we are here. 9 games to go, business end of the season, and that's it. That is it. We're not playing Liverpool anymore. We're not playing City anymore. They're not playing each other anymore. No other big teams in the title race are going to be dropping points against each other. It's all about who is going to stay consistent from now until the end of the run-in. It's exactly what we want as Arsenal fans, exactly what we want. By now, we'd already been out of the Premier League for about 4 months or so. Now, every single missed chance, missed opportunity feels like 3 defeats in a row. And so we're going to get into the breakdown, who did what, who didn't do what, who should have done what. But before that, if it's your first time on the channel, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. If it's not your first time and you're still back here again, hey, you made it. Why not subscribe this time? You might as well. You'll be up to date with all of that good Gooner content coming your way. Now, with all of that being said, there's really only one place to start. I'm going to pop myself over here first. Our lineup looked pretty much what a lot of us expected. It's good that Gabriel's back, Bukayo Saka's back. All those injury talks, them being, taken out of the national teams, was that precaution? Looks like it was, which I like to see. I really like to see. Guess the only surprise was maybe Jesus starting over Trossard, although I think that's what most of us fans wanted anyway. Personally, this is probably exactly what I would have gone with. Maybe just taking out Kivior for Tomiyasu. No, Tomiyasu hasn't played much, but I think I would have taken that gamble. Kivior's been doing good, but you could see again this game, I think against those trickier, more skillful defenders, he really just can't compete. I guess in the totality of things, it didn't really make that much of a difference. He did pretty well on Bernardo Silva, but I think there were a few times where Bernardo Silva carved him up, had him spinning every single which way direction, and it could have cost us. It didn't. Kivior still played okay overall. I think I would have just gambled with Tomiyasu in. We saw Tomiyasu come in a bit later, did okay at times when he first came on, looked a bit shaky as well. So I guess, I'm not going to really complain about that call. Arteta sort of doing his thing. You got to go with the guys that are in form as well. Jesus came in, played well. Only thing about Jesus, he's just, you don't really expect him to score goals these days. You just don't really expect him. And unfortunately, most of our big chances fell to him. He had 2 somewhat okay chances. Should have been taking more shots as well. Times where he tried to be a little bit too pretty, a little bit too cute. Trying to find that perfect, beat everyone, easy little shot to beat the keeper. Couldn't find it. He just got swarmed. Which is, what we sort of expect now. We know that Jesus is like that. Sometimes hesitates to shoot, doesn't find the right times. And that's really the only con we can have of him. Maybe that and injuries. Besides that, we know what he does. He's always good at creating. He's good at finding space for himself. Just couldn't really bag it. But let's not talk about the negatives. I think, first of all, we've got to talk about what this point means. I saw a lot of people on Twitter. First of all, I'm going to recommend don't go on Twitter. It's the most toxic place by far. I feel like 87% on people on there aren't real. Maybe I'm wrong. We need to fact check that. I don't know. Didn't read any stats, but it could be. I'm going with 87%. For me, a lot of people saying it's a boring game. It was, no team really went for it. I sort of disagree. I can see what they're saying. I don't think we pressed on the front foot as much as we typically do. City as well didn't necessarily bomb everyone forward. Like, they were sort of comfortable around their own or our own box, but they weren't necessarily overlapping all the time and sending people forward. It was conservative attack from them as well. But for me, I think it was a very tactical battle. Ben White right up here. First half, Arteta was constantly having him just running, trying to go for those long balls, see if we can find some sort of overload on that side. And it did work a couple times. Early on in the game, I'm not going to say random times because I don't have it off the top of my head, but let's say 5th minute mark, Ben White running all the way up here, crossing it to Gabriel Jesus. Jesus able to chest it down, shoots, goes just wide. I think that's something Arteta maybe noticed in the way City defend, is that that's sort of where we're able to pick up space. And it didn't look like the cleanest football. At times you could probably associate it to maybe Stoke style, just bomb it and hope we win that second ball, hope we sort of get something going. but I thought it was quite clever. It did give us some openings, was able to give us some success in a game that didn't have much to really work with. So I like that. Then, we sort of have our tactical battles. Man City, Pep is always going to counter. Let's just quickly go over to their lineup. Of course, they didn't have Stones and Walker starting, but Gvardiol, not really a bad backup. Ake, Akanji, Ruben Diaz, it's not like they really got that much weaker, if any weaker at all. So solid back four, five that you sort of expect: Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Foden, Kovacic. Pretty sure I said everyone there. It's very hot in here. Maybe I just had a heat stroke and blanked on someone, but I don't think so. Um, I saw a lot of people saying City didn't necessarily go for it, didn't have Julian Alvarez playing with Haaland, but I think since De Bruyne's come back, he's sort of taken Alvarez out of the team more and more. This is mostly their lineup. Sometimes, Bernardo Silva will start instead of Kovacic. Julian will maybe start on the right, or Julian will start in the middle as a sort of a 8/10. Although I don't think it's been working that well for him, so I think this is their best lineup. I don't think Pep gave us too much respect and sort of tried to mix things up. I think this is a lineup they go with quite often, and it's a dangerous one. I don't think they necessarily have the speed on the wings, which sort of was in our favor. Bernardo Silva, like I said, was able to dance up on Kivior a few times, but didn't really get much space. Foden completely isolated from the game, and Pep sort of notices that second half, moves Bernardo into that midfield, and I think they start looking a little bit better. It's sort of these small things, moving people's different positions, finding the little pockets they can get. And I thought it was a really, really enjoyable game. It wasn't one of those high scoring, high chance creation games, but it was one of those ones where there was just looking for one little thing. Ben White overlapping on that right. Can we get any joy? Bernardo moving into the middle. Does that help anything? And it's just trying to tick away, finding what would work. And nothing did. Really, nothing did. And I'm going to give mad props to Gabriel and Saliba for that. More so Gabriel for me. I thought he bodied up Haaland left, right, and center, and he needs to start getting his props. Everyone knows about Saliba, his class, but Gabriel is. I'd put him right up there with Saliba, man. I would put him right up there. He's physical. He's just a freight train. No one can bully him. Can win everything. He's also comfortable on the ball as well. He doesn't look out of sorts or anything like that. And he was just exceptional. For me, Saliba was good too. I think a lot of times on the ball he was a bit shaky, as was David Raya. It was one of those games where one mistake was going to just, we could obviously see it was going to be 1-0. Saliba and Raya on the ball a few times. Raya more so, just looking a bit shaky. Every time I thought Raya kicked it with his left foot, it looked like he had no height, no power on it. He miskicked it, went straight to Man City in dangerous positions. Again, luckily we didn't get caught out, but these would have been, these not would, could have been the little things that changed it. Instead of getting a point at the Etihad, good point, we won 4 out of 6, against City. Would have been really different. Would have been really different if City got all 3. But I want to give, Gabriel his props. Declan Rice as well, thought he was excellent. Just everywhere, man. Just everywhere, battling. I love it. Odegaard, again, battling. Just his final ball, man. Just his final ball. There was a few times Havertz was able to, run off the shoulder of his defender. Why can I not talk? He was in one-on-one. Odegaard just had a simple pass to make. It wasn't breaking down teams with a perfect thread the needle pass. He couldn't get it. Don't want to make an excuse if it looked too windy, but maybe that was going on. But I feel like at some point you guys got to adjust, and he just didn't look like he could. A lot of poor passes in that final third. Even when he was trying to switch play, just went straight to Man City, and I don't know. I don't want to slack on him too much. Again, he fought. It was a very combative game. Far out. Where are we going? Combative game. So, and he was a huge part of that. He's always pressing. I think it was about that 94th minute, Bernardo Silva was driving down with the ball. He was gassed. You could see Odegaard just visibly, audibly wrecked, and he was still just doing everything he can to try and chase him down. And that's what we need. Against City, I don't know why a lot of people are disappointed that we drew. When was the last time we drew against Man City at the Etihad? When was the last time we didn't get wrecked, really? Last year we did a lot better than previous years, but we still lost. Before that, I feel like every single time we were just an abomination, getting destroyed. Now we're at a point where we're really, really competitive, and we're, potentially disappointed that we drew. And that is huge for us. I thought second half, we started to look a lot better attacking wise. We were pressing on that front foot for the first 10, 15 minutes. Bukayo Saka, Odegaard winning the ball up, really good positions around here. Saka puts in a beautiful ball across, just on that 6 yard line. Jesus tries jumping out, couldn't get it. And those are the small margins, man. Those are the small margins. Sub-wise, Martinelli, Thomas Partey, Trossard coming on. I thought Partey looks really good, which is a good sign. I'm hoping he can start getting into this team now. 9 games to go. If we can get a fit Thomas Partey in there, if he can start catching up to speed. A lot of the other games he played where he came off the bench, he was looking sloppy, passes were going everywhere. That was not it today. Didn't look like his world-class best or anything like that, but he looked solid on it, sharp, didn't give the ball away, which is exactly what we needed. And it was a game where a lot of our players weren't really able to hold on to the ball. City are an absolute beast. They pin teams back. They don't give you too much to work with. And Partey could have been someone, if he was a bit sharper, a bit fitter, could have been someone that really could have damaged City if he started. But he came on, had his nice little interplay. I feel like him and Rice, little 1-2s through the midfield, could be something Arteta can work with in the future. And hopefully, if he's here for that run-in, him, Declan Rice, Odegaard, if we can finally see that midfield, I think that could really take us far, man. It's exciting times, exciting times. Trossard came on, didn't do much, had one opportunity. We were on a break. He could have slid it into Martinelli, didn't. I feel like he was a bit selfish there. Maybe went for glory, and he's just a bit too slow. He's a bit too slow. He had so much room. He had such an advantage. The other team, City catches up to him. At least if you don't pass, you got to get a proper shot off. A proper shot off. You had so much space. You were so ahead. If that was Martinelli, that would easily be a one-on-one. Maybe curls it around the keeper, or at least forces him into a save. And those are the differences. Those are the differences. Trossard, I loved him. I still do. But he's slowly falling down the pecking order. And this is someone that's definitely replaced him for me, which is crazy. But you see this front line, if anyone was to get subbed out first, you'd probably think it'd be Kai Havertz. Goes to show how far he's come, that he's the one staying on for the whole game. He was our one true outlet when we couldn't hold on to the ball. Hopefully go long to him. At least we know the City players are going to have to swarm him. If he's not able to get it, we have a chance to win that second ball, win it up high on the pitch. And it's not a beautiful tactic, but against City, again, they have players like Rodri. That midfield is dynamic, powerful. We couldn't really get an edge. That's definitely someone who sort of changes the game for us. And, Havertz didn't really wow us, but I think he was a crucial piece in us sort of having some ability to, play it out. Just an outlet. Oh, man. I think I'm done. I think I've rambled enough. Please, please, please let me know what you thought of the game. For me, it was really exciting to see. It was one of those ones where you knew no team was really going to break the other one down, but you were hoping for one mistake from City. Arsenal just punish. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that. We held City to absolutely nothing. Again, we bullied Haaland. De Bruyne had no sniffs at all. Even Doku came on, probably was the one that had the most danger threat to him, but just doesn't have the end product. And, that just goes to show how far we are. We're able to contain everyone now. We really are, and that is awesome to see. I did say I'm finished, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Please let me know what you thought of the game. Otherwise, I could go for another 2 hours or so. I feel like I have 7 more tangents I probably need to get off my chest, but we'll keep it here for now. Please, like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. More importantly, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in that next game. Arsenal, Luton, let's get this job done. Peace.